All right, folks. So here we go with another video, and this is going to be obviously some information about the build that I'm doing. And so far, so good. I'm kind of upset with the headset. Uh, it's got a loose. You know, I could work with it, but I shouldn't really sweat it, to be honest with you. But in regards to a battery, so I do have the 48 volt 21 amp hour battery, and of course the other one 48 and 13 and a half. What I'll do is I just experiment with those and see what kind of range I'm getting, what kind of speed I'm getting, because I've seen lots of guys with 3000 watt motor and 48 volt system at 21 amp hour, and it's pretty decent. I know that if you have 1500 watt motor with 48 volt battery at a capacity of 17 amp hour, it will give you 34 miles an hour speed, which is suitable for me for now, for off the season to go with. However, I don't want to take the cells apart. I do not know how excuse me, how to do the cells, how to solder them, power connection, series connection. I'm not into that. My soldering skills are good. Uh, they're precise. It's done its purpose so far. Wiring the horn, the lights, and all that. Everything is soldered, so nothing is coming apart. I did the butts and everything, and it just came apart. Even though I heat shrink the damn thing, it was just coming apart. I just pulled a little bit, and that's it. So you don't want to pretty much have everything plug and play, because it is pretty much dangerous. Speaking of dangerous, I don't know if you guys know, but if you have your throttle, there's three wires, and if usually when one wire disconnects, the motor gets a signal to go full throttle. Now, how do I know that? Just like a radio control car, if you lose signal, the the car will have open throttle and it'll just jet out. And actually, in RC world, we call it runaway. And that had happened to me a couple of times with the electric car. And now, this is 8 scale, the 10 scale model. They still get pretty big and pretty heavy, because you can put a cage, which I have done, and you have heavy batteries, and that thing goes pretty fast, because you have let's say a 5,000 or 10,000 or 50,000 kV motor that spins out really fast, and therefore if it runs away, it could actually hurt somebody, especially if you're playing in a park or a beach or a playground. So you don't want to hurt anybody. Now imagine if you have your so-called electric motorcycle, and now one of the wires from the throttle disconnects, and now you're open wide. You're talking about 72 volt, 84 volt battery, doing possibly 80 kilometers or 110 kilometers an hour. I mean, it extremely dangerous. So that's pretty much where my safety becomes. So 99.9%, I will be soldering my throttle to this bike, and calling it a day, because hitting a kill switch on a bike, it's almost literally impossible. Oh man, what the hell is that? Oh, that is, so that's the goal for throttle. The whole thing with the battery. So if I get 34 miles an hour at a decent distance, I'll stick with that battery until the summer, because it's going to be a season. And right before the season, I'm looking at 72 volts, which tops out at 84 volts. 72 volts. I can go as far as 51 amp hour. 51 amp hour will give me a very good range. I can actually travel a nice distance. Now I know for a fact that pedaling this bike, it's going to be a mission. My sprocket is going to be small. I'm looking at about 30 tooth front sprocket. In the back, I have one. I think it's 16 teeth or something like that. It's not very small like BMX bike freestyle, but a little bit bigger. But I really like lots of guys says like, why don't you put a sprocket like 54 tooth. But now if I do that, I will be only able to operate it when the battery's operational and it's working and it has the juice. So the whole thing is I want to be able to pedal it when the battery is completely dead. The whole thing is I'm not getting strangled outside where battery is dead. I can pedal and I can get to my destination. Whether I have to charge my battery. If I go to, let's say, Dunkin' or Starbucks or restaurant for, let's say, 30 or an hour, that will give me some sort of juice. Also, option is that I could get a charger that is 10 amp hour or even 20 amp hour for 51 amp hour battery. 20 would be nice, but I think and I almost know for a fact that these batteries still only handle 10 amp hour charging capacity. So still in 1 hour I can get some juice where I can get somewhere. So that's why the sprocket is going to be very small, so I can kind of like pedaling really fast. But with this bike, it's so heavy that you don't really want to have a big sprocket where your battery dies. You can't even, like, you gotta really stand up and try, and that's not how it works. The way it works is you have to make sure that you can pedal it to your destination. um so that's the whole thing about the battery. Of course I can connect two batteries, so I would have the 21 to 13.5. uh Everything is doable. It's just a way of manipulating the connection where both batteries have BMS, so that's not a problem. I will be able to connect it where I can switch batteries in between, like I did before. One battery I can have inside, obviously, and the other one I have in a backpack, or I can have it in the belly of the bike. So it's not really a big issue or problem. Um, so that's the goal. Second thing is the rear dropouts are 170 millimeters, so it's pretty wide. I've gotten the motor, and I'm kind of scared. I haven't laid it out. I haven't installed it. I haven't even tried because I'm scared that this dropout is going to be so big and so wide that the washers that I'm going to have to use are ridiculous. But the uh, the seller sent me out lots of washers, so I'll be able to forfeit the difference in space uh, in between the axle and, of course, the uh, the dropouts. Uh, in this case, I'm gonna have to pretty much go for it and try to honestly see if I could do that. Hold on a second. All right, so I'm back, and so this is where I was. I'm scared to get into that motor, but I'm gonna have to. I'm waiting for the motorcycle wheel spoons because these tires are so thick and they're so hard that probably installing the tire in the back is going to be a mission without the spoons. So, um, well, we'll keep you guys up to date. I'll post everything I'm doing slowly, and we'll go from there. Uh, I don't want to put the discs yet for the brakes because I don't want to touch them. I don't want to get any oil on them. I don't want to bend them when the calipers are installed. I go with that. It's a four cylinder caliper, so it should stop very nicely. It will stop very nicely. Uh, they're a little bit over $100, and and we'll gotta go with that. I hope the lines are long enough from the back to the front. Obviously, the front one is easy. If not, I just install the front one, and I'll go ahead to the shop, bring the rear one, and have them do it. Brakes are very important. It is all about safety. I know that the front ones will be easy to install. and it's just pretty much plug and play. The rear one, if it doesn't reach, I am going to have to go and get it done in the shop. Other than that, I looked at the controller. It's basic. It does what it needs to do. It looks like it's easy in connection. I will end up. Oh man, I haven't checked it if it fits in underneath that bike in a frame in that box. If it doesn't, I'll get rid of the box and I'll just paint it black and I'll put it underneath the bike further up so I can run the wires through there. I'll buy some speaker housing kit. Probably I'll do. I think it's a half an inch entry to the bike with those holes. So I'll do that. So I'll put the wires away so nobody sees the wires. I hate dirty job. My first build had wires everywhere, and it was just a mess. I don't like it. I want to make this very presentable for me, and I don't want anybody to speculate. What the wires are and this and that. Especially when you kind of like get pulled over by cops and they ask you all these questions. What is this? What is that? And all that good stuff. Like I said, I do have the horn, I have the tail light, I have the headlights, so that's pretty much what they look for. Definitely use a helmet, and that's the safety right there. Other than that, I just want you guys to be updated on the issue with the headset and also with the stage that I'm at with the battery. You gotta understand the battery that I bought. It was a rear rack house casing, and I wanted to use it because it would be waste of money. It was close to $400, which was lots of money back then, and this was about 2.5, 3 years ago, and the battery is still holding. It's LG quality battery, so I just don't want to throw it out. And don't mind me because I keep staring because I'm parked on a side street and people walking back and forth, and I don't like that. But anyway, so that's that. I don't want to throw that money. And selling batteries is like ridiculously expensive, difficult. So I'd rather keep it and use it for different purposes and call it a day. The 48 13.5 amp hour, I had it on a scooter with my son, and man, it was a blast. Unfortunately, I have to deal with that motor. The Hall sensors went out with me, so I see which one is off. I might solder it back in and see if it works. If it doesn't work, just get rid of it, throw in the garbage. And it's a built scooter. It's not manufactured by anybody, so it looked like a scooter with a bunch of wires. It was a kick scooter. It was excellent. But other than that, somebody's playing it. On that, we're good and go and set. All right, folks. So stand by, subscribe, like this video, and stand by for more videos like this. Take care, be safe, and drive safe.